will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men.
Let me turn this up a little bit. Okay.
Men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
There is something that needs to be discussed because it is such a huge part of the invisible shackles that have been placed upon the world. There is a dream that has been sold to the world.
Because I have a dream today.
It was taught in our schools and given credibility by our governments, churches, social leaders, and activists. This subject is something that is so difficult to come against because the mind control around it is so strong. It is one of the foundations that this coming New World Order is built upon. You see, the irony and hypocrisy about the way the world is today is that so many of us are caught up in the lies and deceptions that were given to us by the same system that we know have been oppressing us our entire lives. Like, I have friends who often speak about how wicked the system is, and how much they don't trust the government, etc., etc. But all their ways and mindsets stem from the lies and deceptions that were given to them by the same system they want to rebel against. They never break away from the lies, even though they speak against the people that are giving it to them. If we do not go back and go to the root of a lie and pluck it out, you will never truly live in truth, because there are still roots of lies that are planted in you. You have to remove the root, and this subject is a major root that needs to be dug up. So here's the basis of the discussion in this video, and I want you to answer this question in your heads before I go deeper. Was the dream that Martin Luther King Jr. had given to him by Yah or by Satan? I started with this question because I don't believe that many people ever gave it much thought or even considered the importance of the answer. I mean, this dream that is used consistently by world leaders, by churches, that is taught to all of us and our children from when we are young, that is often used as a foundation for liberty and justice around the world. If this dream was given by Yahuwah, the Most High, then it is something that we obviously should connect with and follow. But if it was given by Satan, then it is possible that by following and believing in this dream, we could be attaching ourselves to a satanic agenda that we were completely unaware of. That makes sense? This question needs to be considered, especially within the group of followers within the organized Christian churches in America and abroad. To many people in that group, Dr. King was the Moses of the generation, and he was leading those who followed him to a promised land.
And I've looked over, and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
But because of his charisma, his power in words, the grand soapbox that he was given, and the many people, important people, that supported him around the country and around the world, I mean, he was given a Nobel Peace Prize. The promised land that he was leading many people to was never actually considered what it was. It was just wrapped in a bow of liberty and equality. But the actual foundation of the dream of this promised land was never actually considered. And now it is over half a century since the end of his movement, and the world still is moving to this promised land. So it is time that we really examine what is underneath the hood. We need to really understand, was the dream that Martin Luther King Jr. had given to him by Yah or by Satan? Let's begin. Okay, so I'm going to try to go at this in a methodical approach because I am aware that I'm coming at a subject most people are not ready to really deal with. Like I alluded to in the introduction, we have been mentally conditioned to accept this man, his dream, and his promised land as acceptable. We have been conditioned to accept him as a hero. You see, in many of my videos, particularly when speaking about the Matrix, I explain how this system works in our minds, telling us who our heroes are and who our enemies are. We believe the heroes that they have placed in our face, and they made us believe their cause. But the truth is, most people really won't understand that point unless you really understand the real world that we live in. So if your mind is not fully aware that you live in a world of lies and deception, this video may not be for you yet. I have been circling around this subject for a while, but I was really moved into it last week when I saw Zelensky bring it up in his address to Congress.
They do not defend our people. I have a dream. These words are known to each of you. Today I can say, I have a need. I need to protect our sky. I need your decision, your help, which means exactly the same you feel when you hear the words, I have a dream.
I was like, they can really just use this anytime they want. Now, I could start off and say very firmly that Martin Luther King Jr. was not our hero. He was just a house slave used to keep us in bondage. But when you give statements like that, without a proper foundational level of understanding before it, it can oftentimes just push people away before they had time to really understand the reasoning behind it. But that's how I see most people want this ministry to be. Cut deep, regardless if a foundation of understanding has been laid out or not. But that's not how I was ever led to distribute truth. So I'm going to go backwards to lay a foundation and then move forward. In order to understand this topic in full, you need to understand the times that this mindset was built in. You need a bird's eye view with a little more information than what the mainstream feeds you with. So understand a few things. You can't understand this just by jumping into the civil rights movement of the 1960s. No, you have to understand the country before this, because there were heavy false doctrines already built, and there was a division in the black community that was not known. But it is highly important to really understand these things. So we start at the first Reconstruction period. This is the period after the Civil War. We're talking post-Civil War, after Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, and former slaves were promised their 40 acres and a mule from General Sherman, and the 13th Amendment was passed, abolishing slavery. We start during the era of Reconstruction that was started under President Andrew Johnson. This was the period of rebuilding the United States. In May of 1865, Johnson announced his plan for presidential reconstruction. His strategy called for amnesty and restoration of property to all Southerners who swore loyalty to the Union. His strategy required Confederate leaders to ask individually for pardons, and required that all states accept the 13th Amendment that abolished slavery. Johnson's strategy for Reconstruction became very lenient to white Southerners who fought against the Union, and he ordered the restoration of land to those owners. This included land from Sherman's order. This was the 40 acres and a mule land. And then Johnson declared Reconstruction complete by the end of the year. Johnson's increased alignment with the white Southerners brought criticism from Republicans, and that promise of 40 acres and a mule was rescinded. The country lured the free slaves in to fight with them to help with the war, but they decided that they were not going to rebuild the country with the mindset of equality with the former black slaves and give them land that they were owed and due. They used the slaves to win the war and then provided them with nothing. Same script that goes on today. It is important to also understand that there are many things instilled within the country that still kept the oppressing of the free slaves going. It wasn't like they were free and then they had it easy. No, they were still oppressed, but they were still striving to live and create a life for themselves. In April of the year 1866, Congress passed the Civil Rights Bill, granting citizenship and rights to all male persons in the United States. By June of that year, Republicans had drafted the 14th Amendment, which guaranteed citizenship to anyone born or naturalized in the United States. This granted the free slaves citizenship. This bill was extremely controversial and was not made valid until 2 years later in 1868.
If you are still interested in watching that video, I suggest that you go to a website that's called truthunedited.com, or you can also find this channel on YouTube, yo. Truth Unedited. You watch the video and you tell me what you think. Very interesting. Like the word says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. But it also says that in getting wisdom and getting knowledge above all these things, get understanding. Thank you. Yo, my name is Rha'mel, and this is You Got Mel. Until the next time, may the Lord richly bless you. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up. If you're interested in what I just shown you, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and go check this video out. It's on Truth Unedited. That's the website, and it's also you can find this channel on YouTube, Truth Unedited. Yo, peace.